Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is April 4th, and right now we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery here. BC, Washington, Oregon, Idaho. We're going to be dealing with some showers for one more day across a lot of Pacific Northwest, mainly Cascades east for a thunderstorm threat. We'll take a look at those details. We'll take a look at this big mass of clouds out here across the Pacific Ocean. This is the next weather maker out here, and this is going to be bearing down on the Pacific Northwest coming up here. We'll take a look at that in the extended forecast in a moment. This is the Tempest weather flow here. A handheld weather station connects wirelessly to your smartphone. Wind speed, temperature, pressure, dew point. It's got it all in it there. And if you want to click on that below, make sure to get that 10% off West Coast weather in the checkout code. This is the home weather station I've been pushing here as well. Solar powered, no batteries, all wireless, stores all your data in the cloud for you. And it's extremely accurate. It's holding up quite well against much more expensive weather equipment. Looking at Seattle yesterday, 48 degrees was the high temperature. That's 9 degrees below average of 57 for this time of year. We've got 3 straight days to start April with precipitation, and you can see there below average that cold start to April, and it doesn't look like we're going to warm up that much, not as much as we thought a few days ago. We'll take a look at those details here in a moment. Now, looking at the thunderstorm chance for eastern Washington, I wanted to point out this precipitation type. Graupel is not an official precipitation type. This is snow pellets. So I see the problem with this is that I see a lot of people calling ice pellets, small hail, and snow pellets the term graupel. The facts matter, especially in the aviation industry here. So if you're flying and you have certain types of precipitation on your wing, they need to know how long it takes to melt and what kind of de-icing fluid to use. And if you were to look back in official weather observations, there's no graupel. You would not be able to tell when graupel fell or how much. It's snow pellets, it's ice pellets, and small hail. So the best thing I can recommend you do is learn the correct terminology for these precipitation types. I don't know why graupel has hijacked the National Weather Service terminology so much, but it is not an official observation type. Here we're looking briefly at that day one thunderstorm potential. You can see Washington, Oregon, Idaho, western Montana. If we take a look at current hazards, let me update this to see if this has been changed. No, we still have some winter weather advisories across some of the Cascades of Washington, Oregon, the coastal range. The showers continue, some pretty cold air aloft on in through southern Idaho as well. If you look out here across Wyoming, check that out. Some blizzard warnings out there. Some winter storm warnings still in effect for some of extreme southern Montana also. So taking a look at the European, this is 700 millibars up towards 10,000 feet. There goes our upper level trough, finally kicking out of the area, but it's going to be replaced with another system. Not quite as cold aloft, but it is going to bring some rainfall across the region. We'll take a look at those details starting now. This is the NAM 3KM 12Z run, hot off the presses. You can see the shower activity today. It's going to be waning by the time we get in towards Wednesday, but that next frontal system will start to impact the region through Wednesday night into Thursday. Pretty rainy day shaping up, especially Cascades west as we go through the day Thursday. Back edge of the front there starting to make its way towards the coastline by the time we get towards Thursday evening. This is looking at total snow, 10-to-1 ratio. A little bit still occurring today with the cold air around, and better chances, of course, as you go off towards the eastern portions here of Idaho and Wyoming. And then as we go on into Wednesday, though, you'll see the next round of precip arrive and start to bring some snowfall for the higher terrain Cascades. So we'll take it. I mean, anything we can pile up there is going to help out with the fire season coming up here this summer. Taking a look at the avalanche danger zones here across much of the Pacific Northwest, some considerable across some of the Oregon Cascades. You've got moderate across the Washington Cascades, kind of a mixed bag as you go east. So if you check out avalanche.org and you click on these individual locations, you can get some extreme detail. Now we're looking at the European versus the GFS on the right. There's the trough. Here's Washington. There's Oregon. Put that into motion. You can see a little bit of a break here, maybe, but not much of one before the precipitation starts up again Wednesday evening and we get that trough moving through. And you can see the ridging that was going to try to build here across the Pacific Northwest is just not making it as far west. Trough is much closer in recent model runs, and it cools us down quite a bit. And you can see pretty good model agreement out here towards hour 200 with a trough over the west coast of North America. We look way out into fantasy land, and both the GFS and the European are kind of hinting towards that trough remaining off our coastline here. So, we'll watch these systems as they come in individually. Plenty of time to look at that, but no sign of a big warm up as of right now. This is a 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. This was put out yesterday, and this is probably going to be scaled back as well. Now looking at the GFS, this is surface temperatures, temperature anomalies. So you can see we've been colder than normal here. And if we put this into play, you can see we start going out. We're now out 2.5 to 3 to 4 days. No warm up in sight. Maybe off for some of Eastern Oregon. The further you get off to the east and towards the Rockies here, you're going to be a bit warmer, but you can see the signal for below average temperatures days 7 through 8 shown there. And as we go on in through the 10 plus day period, we're not getting much of a warm up here either. Looking at the European, this is last night's run, mean sea level pressure anomaly. Here goes our next system as we go through Thursday. Low pressure system riding up towards western BC, and another one, pretty strong low pressure system showing up here through this weekend. Could bring some blustery conditions. We'll watch this one across many of the areas west of the Cascades. You can see that pretty strong low pressure going up towards Haida Gwaii there. Now, this is looking at SeaTac. It does show some of these ensemble members here, 6-hour max wind gusts. Some of these have some bigger gusts embedded in there, and that's just kind of showing that low pressure system has a little bit of wind potential, but it's not showing any major windstorm by any means. Taking a look at Sandspit, though, you look out up towards Haida Gwaii, and you can see some bigger wind gusts. Those low pressure systems are going to be moving by much closer, much stronger pressure gradient out there. Here we go for Portland. So this is the European, and you can see the warm-up that it was kind of advertising here as we went through April 2nd. The afternoon would be here, and it started that cool down as we went through yesterday. So you can see our temperatures just kind of got taken away. We were really hoping for some warmer springtime conditions here, but look at this, kind of a stark update here on the European, taking away our warmth. Same thing for Seattle here. Again, this is the European. This is 6-hour max temperature, and these are individual runs. If I look at this one here, that is the afternoon of April 1st. This is the afternoon of April 2nd there, and this was the afternoon of yesterday. Much cooler here in our extended forecast. This is looking at Seattle Tacoma, and you can see there's no really warm signal here showing up for this weekend and on in through early next week. The best we can really hope for right now is something up towards the average, and then maybe a warm up as we go through the extended, but that's way out there. Fantasyland doesn't mean anything right now. This is looking at the GFS, which actually sniffed out the cool down a little bit earlier than the European did. So nice job by the GFS, if this verifies, I should say. But you can see it did call for some warmer temperatures as we were going through April 2nd, the morning time, and then it started to back off in these temperatures here as we went into future runs. And this is the GFS for Portland as well. You can see the back off from the warmer temperatures possibly coming on in through Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and now totally erased. This is 8 to 14 day temperature probability outlook, and they have backed off on this also, and we are now with that below average signal here across much of the West Coast. This is looking at the drought monitor here. Washington's still doing pretty well, but we are abnormally dry in some areas. They do mention we could be developing some drought across some of the Cascades coming up here. And again, with that exceptional drought across some of the eastern slopes of the Cascades through Oregon still exists. But a lot of the West otherwise not doing too bad, and especially the huge change. If you've been watching some of my California videos down there was a large area of exceptional drought that's been totally erased over the last few months. Now, so we got this one more day of shower. You might see some nice puffy white cumulus clouds out there today before these next clouds start to make their way in as we go through the day tomorrow. So no rest for the weary here. We're going to remain probably just below average here for much of the foreseeable future. We'll watch this again tomorrow. As you saw, models can flip quite rapidly this time of year. So we'll just continue to watch it day by day. I hope you guys are having a good day out there. Stay safe, and we will do this again tomorrow.